Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Leading You. This episode has got a little bit of fire to it, so I'm really excited to jump straight into this. And this is an episode about why being good is not enough anymore. And it's something that high-performing women often talk about. It's like, I'm so good at my job, but I'm still not getting ahead. Now, you can be brilliant at what you do. You can deliver results, hit every target, transform teams, and you can still feel invisible in rooms that matter. Now, why? Why is this? Because skill alone does not get you seen. Hard work does not guarantee your voice is heard or that people recognize you for your talent. Excellence doesn't automatically mean that you will be valued. I see this all the time. Incredible women, leaders with track records that should speak volumes for them. They quietly get overlooked by when less capable voices rise louder. Not because they're not worthy, but because they've been told a lie. And that might have been early in their career. If you keep your head down and you bum up and work hard, eventually you'll be recognized. But here is what really happens. Visibility doesn't come from working harder. It comes from owning your edge, raising your voice, not being the loudest in the room, but having the courage to be unmissable. So if you've ever wondered why being excellent still hasn't made you the one that they seek out, that they quote or they promote, this episode is for you. And it's not just for women in corporate, not just for people in corporate. This is for you as a business owner as well. Because if you are getting overlooked by others who are less capable than you need to be thinking why. So let's talk about what it really takes to be seen, heard, and valued. So I remember, and there's still an element to what I do in terms of what I was told, that if I work really hard and deliver more, maybe get a qualification, maybe I'll get an MBA, or, once I do my coaching studies, my diploma, get a Harvard qualification, I'll then be seen. And visibility doesn't come from output. It comes from positioning and courage. And I think my story back when I was in corporate is really relevant to this, because I was in a role where I was playing a support to the state manager for Victoria, and I was really good at what I did. I was super organized. I was extremely productive. I, worked really hard to make him look really good. I got an outstanding appraisal for my achievements. And then when I spoke to same leader that I was working very closely with, when it came to me telling him that I felt like it was time for me to step up into a very senior leadership role, he didn't agree. And I was like, where is the disconnect here? How can he not see how good I am? He knows how good I am. He gave me an outstanding appraisal, but I still wasn't seen. I still wasn't heard, and I still wasn't perceived as someone who was a senior leader. So my positioning was totally off. I was positioning myself as an expert support person. I wasn't positioning myself as a leader, as someone who is capable of leading a large team with incredibly large footings, like a very big P&L to lead, I wasn't considered that way. And I didn't like that response when that first came to the forefront. I didn't like that at all. And I resisted that. And I, went into a bit of victim mentality and started asking people for their opinion, and they supported what my leader said. And so I really had to dig deep into my courage and look at myself in the mirror and say, who am I positioning myself as right now? Why do people have this perception of me when I don't have that of myself? So complete misalignment. And what I had to do over the course of a year was to rebuild what I call my personal brand. I really had to think about, okay, so what is my goal here? How do I need to position myself so that people can see the opportunity and my brilliance? How do I do that in a way that's in complete alignment with who I am? Because I'm not going to go out there and be someone I'm not, because that is not sustainable. And it took me a year to change my brand, my perception, my positioning. And it also then I did apply for that role, and I failed the first time. I wasn't given the role the first time, so I had to apply for that again, and I was eventually successful. But that takes a lot of courage to stick to that when you're not seeing results immediately. There have definitely been situations in my own business as well where I wasn't winning opportunities, where I wasn't getting recognized for what I can bring to the table. And I really had to question my positioning. How was I positioning myself when I was speaking to people, when I was at networking events? It all comes back to you. And even though, so as you can see in that example, and even in my business, I'm extremely good at what I do, but I need to position myself in a way that people can see that. And you're exactly the same. So the cost of staying invisible, if you like, or not being recognized for your worth is complete burnout. When you're not enjoying your role, when you are not feeling fulfilled, when there's a lot of mental load going on here, burnout will certainly follow, because you're out of alignment with what you want and what you're doing. You're not enjoying, you're not getting joy from your role or, what's going on for you at the moment. Of course, the missed opportunities are there. You might miss out on a role. You might miss out on, pay rise. You might miss out on your next client. You might miss out on, a potential speaking opportunity. Whatever that looks like for you, there's a lot of missed opportunities through not positioning yourself effectively and staying invisible. And also, you're building other people's legacies while yours is sidelined, which is exactly what I was doing. I was building my leader's legacy. He was looking fabulous while I wasn't. So if you're one of those people who's really, really good at encouraging others, for offering ideas to other people so that they look good, so then they own it as their idea, they get recognized for brilliance. When you're sitting behind the scenes and you're thinking, that was my idea, why didn't I table that? Why didn't you table that? What prevented you from tabling that idea as your own? And this is where the fear can kick in, because it's like, oh my God, whose toes am I going to step on? What are people going to think of me? Are they going to see me as a bitch? Are they going to see me as someone to pushy, all of those things that go through your head are all the things that are holding you back. So what actually makes you unmissable is owning your edge. It's owning who you are and what you stand for, and owning your brilliance and speaking up. And that might be speaking about things that other people avoid. It might be putting your idea forward that might ruffle some feathers. It might be asking for that pay rise, even though your heart is beating out of your chest, but you know it's the right thing. You know you should be paid your worth. It's putting forward a proposal with a huge fee attached to it because you know that you are going to give enormous value to that client. It's raising your voice. Stop waiting to be invited to speak up. Put your hand up. Put yourself forward. Ask questions. Engage in conversations. Stop waiting to use your voice and start speaking. The more you do, the better you'll get. And the third thing is position yourself with courage. Show up as the standard, your standard, not the option. Create yourself as the person that they need to listen to, the role model, the person who you are right now. Position yourself as that standard. And the more and more you do that, your standards will raise. I hope that makes sense. So show up as the standard, not as the option. Not as someone who's half showing who they are. It's so incredibly powerful. So being good is no longer good enough. Being good is not going to get you the promo. It's not going to get you the pay rise. It's not going to get you the client. It's not going to get you a really engaged team. You're not going to be making the impact or the influence that you are capable of. The courage to be you is what makes you seen, heard, and valued. And that's how leaders rise, and that's how legacies are built. So where are you still blending in? And where is it time to stand out? Where is it time to be the standard? Where is it time to use your voice, step forward, and take a seat at that table? So thank you for tuning in to this episode of Leading You. I would love for you to share this if you know of anyone who might need to hear this message. And again, if you loved it, please rate and review it because it will get into more ears. I'm so grateful for you tuning in to this episode, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.